What's one of the biggest challenges facing emerging markets, in your opinion, and why?
I would argue that emerging markets don't have quite the same challenges as maybe they once had. Even in the financial market, there's always going to be some issues around governance, shall we call it, and what goes on various markets there. And there will be issues around the size of the market. So therefore, how much liquidity you can really get into any of the products that are there. An example of that would be that actually one of the things I did just before I was leaving Frankfurt in the 90s was work in Kyiv in Ukraine, which is unfortunately suffering at the moment, but a lovely city. But approach at the time was we need a derivatives market. We were brought in to actually look at how we could actually help them develop that. Then we were introduced to their Spot FX platform, which was you basically went down to the floor at 5 minutes to 11. There was a bit of a huddle with some people putting pieces of paper in. Then just as they were about to get the fix, the central bank came in and wiped everybody out. They therefore determined what the fix was going to be. So it comes down to, I suppose, have you really got an underlying functioning spot market whereby you could actually create a derivatives market from that? So while it was nice to spend some time with them and lovely people, we kind of came to the conclusion that there really wasn't anything for them to be working on at that point in time. They should continue to develop the underlying markets first. I think that's always going to be an issue with respect to emerging markets is whether you're talking about, especially if you're talking about a derivatives market, have they really got a fully functioning market? Did they have the ability to allow arbitrage as well as have the hedgers and the speculators in there? What's the functioning repo market like, etc., etc.
We did delve into product development there, and I'm just curious, not asking you to give a critique of specific exchanges, but is there anything at the moment in terms of the last, say, 5 or 6 years or more even of product development per se, how do you think overall exchanges have been dealing with the threats, the opportunities, etc.?
I think all of the exchanges / clearinghouses have been looking at the opportunity more now around, can we bring OTC products on exchange? That's essentially not low-hanging fruit. And funnily enough, with Stuart asking the question, he's a very good example of that, where the total return futures that he launched at Eurex is the effective move of total return swaps away from the OTC area and actually into a listed cleared environment. And most of it is still by appointment. You're not going to actually see much in a liquid order book on that stuff. But with respect to the idea of the success of a product like that, once you bring that into a clearinghouse environment, you then have cross-margin benefits against Eurostoxx futures. So collateral tick, cross-margining benefits tick, and the ability to effectively continue to trade the way you do now today, but actually park it somewhere that's much more efficient. All the exchanges are looking at that, and that makes a huge amount of sense. As I said, maybe inflation swaps is an area to be looking at the moment, given some of the issues around LDI businesses as well, whether the inflation sort of piece of that be brought in and cross-margined against other things.